I'm going to teach you how to identify this poisonous mushroom. You do not want to eat this. Hey fungi friends, I'm out on the Marin coast. It's a beautiful day, it's sort of raining and sunny, and it's that sort of transitional period between fall and winter, and it's starting to get cold and wet, and we're seeing a different distribution of species than I was seeing here earlier in the summer. We found a few chanterelles and a couple of porcini, but there's not a ton of fungal action except for a lot of saprobic mushrooms, ones that are eating dead stuff. And as I was walking along, I found a huge cluster here of these bright yellow orangey mushrooms. This is the sulfur tuft, or Hypholoma fasiculare. They are a fairly toxic mushroom. They contain these fasiculols and things that make you quite ill, give you a lot of diarrhea and throwing up if you consume them. So it's a really good idea to be able to recognize these little guys and not accidentally consume them thinking that there's something else, because they are bright and yellow and quite colorful and definitely eye-catching. But like I said, they're pretty poisonous. And I just want to show you how many of them are around me. I can't even count all of the clusters, but there's a big one here, there's a big one here, some pretty mature ones here, all sorts of stuff, just all around the roots of this dead conifer tree here. So these are very, very populous mushrooms. You'll see them growing on wood chip piles as well, but they're a really good one to recognize because they are so abundant and so bright. And I actually have a pretty cool trick to show you guys with these mushrooms. If I put a UV light on these, they shine a pretty intense yellow color. Like, they're already kind of yellowy, but they get much more intense yellow. And that's because there are compounds inside of this mushroom that are UV reactive. So there's these aromatic carbon rings with electrons in them that the UV light excites. And as the electrons come down in energy state, they emit a wavelength of light that's different from the UV light coming in, and that's what we see as fluorescence. So it's a pretty cool thing you can do with a lot of wood decay fungi, particularly a lot of these kind of like slightly poisonous wood decay fungi are UV reactive and will also turn fairly bright orange with KOH, so it's a little pH change. But it's just cool to find these and kind of talk about the ecology of this place, since a lot of this area was burned. There's a lot of dead trees, and so we're seeing huge flushes of these Hypholoma, the sulfur tufts, just all over the place. And you know, they're all over this log and all over this hillside. Lots of dead vegetation as its mycelium is kind of growing there into the soil, into the wood, digesting it all and making it all bioavailable. And that's a thing that, you know, we might not like these because they're not edible and they're kind of poisonous, but they're a really important wood, you know, recycler, saprobe, that's working here to sort of restore the ecology and complete the cycle after a fire. So, you know, they're not the world's most exciting mushroom, but I think they're pretty interesting. So it's pretty neat to find this big flush of the sulfur tufts, Hypholoma fasiculare.